Okay, so today on Scrappin' we are putting on the mounts and the bumper. Tonight I'm just going to put the mounts on. These are all Volvo specific parts that I got. They all have their own stickers and stuff. The one thing I had some trouble with was the one company I ordered these mounts from said this, I think it was the left bracket. Here's the driver's side one. Gotta look at it. Yeah, it's the driver's side one. They said that this one's not in production anymore. So I had to go through a different company to get this. So if that's true, then you won't be able to get this any longer soon, which seems kind of crazy to me. But if that's the case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure these so they could be recreated out of just basically sheet metal. I mean, this isn't anything really fancy. So this one is the left bracket and this one is the right bracket. And they're exactly the same, it's just the bolt holes are opposite. So the measurements are going to be the same on either one. They're just flipped. If you look at the bottom part, this is flipped too. But I mean, if you made one with the cutout, I don't even think these cutouts are necessary, honestly. I mean, if you look at it on the bumper, I guess it's like a drain cutout, something along those lines. But I don't think that really matters at all. But so to at least catalog this, I'm going to measure these and we'll see what they actually are. Here's my odometer gear. It's so teeny. So just in case they really do end up not manufacturing these anymore, 9 1/4 inches long by 5 1/2 inches. Yep, 5 1/2 inches tall. And these, it's easier to measure it this way. These stick out. I don't think this indentation part is really necessary either. 2 inches this way. And the hole, I'll measure this like this so you can get a better idea. The hole sits, looks like 1 1/4 inches up, and it should be centered. Yep, it's exactly centered. And then on the top, it's the same thing. No cutouts. Just a bolt on the top. You could get away with just putting a regular bolt on there. You just can't reach it, so you could just weld on a regular bolt if you made this yourself. And then these are, it'd be easier if I went like this probably. The edge of this is exactly 1 inch in, 1 inch in, and the other edge is 1/4 inch in. So this is 1/4 inch right here, and to here is 1 inch. And this direction, it's 1 1/4 inches up from the bottom side. And it's going to be the same all the way around. It's actually not. Nope, I lied. It's not. So I thought they were square, but it's not. So down here, and this, the one I'm measuring is the left side, so that's the driver's side. This is 3/4 inch down on this side, and the bottom half is 1 1/2 inches. So right here is 1 1/2 inches from this side, and 3/4 inch. And then this is this is 3/8 out right here. So to about a quarter on one side and 3/8 out. So this, you could just make the hole, you could drill it once you made the rest of this, but the whole length of this, top to bottom, like I said, 5.5 inches plus another 2 and another 2. So the whole length of this piece of metal would have to be 9.5 inches. 9.5 inches high, and then you just have to bend it, drill your hole here. If you wanted to cut one of these slits for the drain that's on there, you could just also drill a hole where the drain is. So it's a pretty simple design. I'm sure this is here for stability. So, but to catalog it, there you go. That's that. The other one is the same thing. It's just they flipped the two holes. Instead of being up here and here, it's opposite. I don't know why somebody didn't just make a one side bracket that had 4 holes. Then you could just put it on either side. It would have just made more sense. Maybe they'll do it now because Volvo's getting rid of this part. And these always rust out, so there's going to be a need for them. So, I don't know. Maybe it was just that company that can't get it anymore, but they're all genuine Volvo parts, so it's beyond me. So anyway, enough ranting. I'm going to put these on, and then probably tomorrow I'll come back and put the rest of the bumper on. I'm just really tired tonight. So let's put the left one on. Let's just go like this. And then I noticed one thing that's going to be fun. Putting the bolt up through here is right where the exhaust is, so I'm going to have to pull this off, what I did the other day, to just get this out of the way. So that'll be a job for tomorrow. Yeah, I mean, I really think they put the indentation just to make it so when it gets crushed in an impact, it just locks in there a little better, so you don't necessarily need it. I'm sure it's a structural thing that I'm sure there's a reason to do it. Let's put it that way. Yeah, the originals were 960, so. So when you're putting these mounts on, just make sure you leave them a little loose, because when you put the bumper on, you're going to have to test fit it first and lift it up to the correct location. On my car, and I can't say this is going to be the same for every car, the mounts had to be all the way up. So, I mean, if you wanted to put them all the way up and try fitting it first, you can do that. But if your car is at any kind of tap in the rear, you know, I'm assuming that the adjustment could be a little bit off either way. So leave them loose, put the bumper on, test fit. You're going to see I have to loosen the bolts again, which I predicted anyway, and then put the bumper back on. Today we're continuing to put on the bumper. I put the mounts on yesterday, and everything else is to be done today. So just got to find a couple parts I think are sitting in here. Oops. Got the bolts for the sides and the 2 brackets. Make sure you don't lose these. And the bolts. So what I did here first was I put the brackets in the actual car, and then I was going to hook the bumper on. Kind of a waste of time. It didn't really work. So what I would do is I would take the bracket and just put it into the bumper, line it up with the hole, and put it on after. And I end up doing that. It's what I'd call a learning experience. So this is where I find out that the brackets are too low. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to go in there, loosen up the bolts just by pulling the bumper out a hair, and then I'm going to push the brackets upwards and tighten them back down. So as I said yesterday, I had this feeling that the whole bracket would have to be moved up. And I was correct. So I should have just moved it to begin with. Alright, so let's see. Alright, that's perfect. So I gotta take the other side and move it up just a little bit, and we'll be good to go. So I probably have to take that bracket back off to do this, which I just hand tightened it, so. One of these pieces doesn't fit, it must be this side. So what I'm going to do is I pull this out a little bit, and then I'm going to reach down in there. I have to do this way. So note to self, in a stock vehicle that hasn't had any accidents in the back, these need to be all the way up. I would have thought they'd need to be somewhere in the middle, but that was the wrong assumption. So it looks good. Just a note about what I'm doing right here. I'm putting the bracket that goes in the rectangular piece of plastic that's on the bumper side. It hooks in there, and then you put it through the car into the trunk, and basically you then just put the 10mm bolt on it and tighten it down once everything's in the correct location. I do this on both sides. The left side is in the trunk. The right side is actually under the car. The nut, you have to reach up by where the fuel filler is. So hand tighten those. Push the bumper back. Alright. So I can't remember if these had washers on them. I tossed the other ones. So I'm going to put some big washers on here. I'm using a 1/2 inch too. I couldn't tell you what the original ones were. Alright, so just run that bolt up. On this side, like I said, I gotta take the muffler back off. The muffler, just this part right here, which actually looks pretty much perfect where I put it. So once you take that off, you should be able to just slide this up. You just need this slightly out of the way. So I just loosen this. So I can push it to the side. Feed the bolt up. And you put it in. Now I just gotta put my exhaust pipe back. Next, I just need to tighten up the pinwheel that's right down here. I don't go too crazy on tightening this. Once that's tightened, you can, and for reference, the motor and everything for the antenna is back here. I am going to have to work on this at some point. My doesn't work, but that is super low priority in my book. I don't really listen to the radio anyway, so it doesn't really matter to me. So just pull your rugs back. Then you want to take these guys. To take them out, you need a screwdriver. To put them back in, you don't. You just gotta line them up. And once you line them up, just push it in, and it clicks in. Top one, same thing. It's on both sides, so. Next, make sure you tighten up the 10mm that's on the other side of the bumper. Don't go too crazy tight on that. So, to do the rivets on the bottom too, you have to take the wheel off. All I did is I have this really cheap riveting gun, got for God knows tool people. I got these really fat rivets, so I'm using that. So all I do, push it in, pull back, push it in, pull back. There you go. Now it's riveted. Okay, so today on Scrappin' we are putting on the mounts and the bumper. Tonight I'm just going to put the mounts on. These are all Volvo specific parts that I got. They all have their own stickers and stuff. The one thing I had some trouble with was the one company I ordered these mounts from said this, I think it was the left bracket. Here's the driver's side one. Gotta look at it. Yeah, it's the driver's side one. They said that this one's not in production anymore. So I had to go through a different company to get this. So if that's true, then you won't be able to get this any longer soon, which seems kind of crazy to me. But if that's the case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure these so they could be recreated out of just basically sheet metal. I mean, this isn't anything really fancy. So